Welcome to another episode of About Time with Michael. We got Ronny and we've got a awesome Breguet.
We do. I've had this one for, oh goodness, a few years now. It's a Perpetual Calendar Breguet.
Man, there's so many dials on this thing.
Yeah, I can't read it. I can't read it.
But she's beautiful. Platinum?
It's a platinum one. So the oddity with this one, I like things that are a bit strange. So it's a the classic sort of Breguet coinage on the side. There's really two lines in the Breguet. There's the La Tradition, which is the sort of open works one, and the Classic series, which is the ones with a sort of silver guilloché dial and coinage case middle, yeah. So this is a Perpetual Calendar, which is obviously not a normal one. We've got a power reserve indicator and a moon phase as well. So quite a complicated little unit. The strap on it's something I put on because I didn't want it looking too fancy. It's fancy enough as it is. So
she's stunning, the movement.
Yes. So in the higher end of the Breguet range, they'll pierce out and engrave the movement. So it's just beautiful to look at. The only one I've ever seen in platinum. Really? Yeah. So I'm sure there's others out there for sale somewhere, but I've not seen another. The regular production's rose gold and white gold.
Yeah.
And the previous owner of that watch ordered it. He was a good client and ordered it in platinum, and they made it for him.
And that's platinum as well, the
yep.
band? Yeah, wow.
Yep. They come on a beautiful alligator black strap, which it has, but I took that off and just put my horrible.
That looks a lot better.
On.
I like it.
It just looks nasty, but I like it. Yeah.
What's something like that? Like if you were to buy this new from Breguet?
Look, I think the white gold one's about 120 grand, or 100, something like that, maybe a bit over 100. I'm not sure on a platinum one. There's no price list as such. I just
this is off catalogue, this piece?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's not something you've got to order it. And I don't know if they still make it, but they did about 10 years ago.
Are you comparing Breguet, something like this, with Lange and Patek at this level?
A lot of people do, and I think Breguet are beautiful. Look, I think they're different, really. A Lange is a much more robust, thicker, heavier sort of unit. If you look at a Lange Perpetual, it's thicker. It's a totally different style of watch. This thing is actually quite thin for what it does. It's quite solid too. It's a hefty little thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a beautiful little watch. I love it. It's fantastic.
But quality-wise, look, they're both amazing quality. They're just different.
Yeah.
You know, they're just very different. And Breguet, I like that Breguet because I love the look of it. But
was it true that Breguet made movements for like AP and things like that back in the day? Was it them? They made, or JLC maybe?
JLC did.
JLC
did, yeah. Breguet have only really they've been making watches again for, I mean, obviously Breguet's an old company.
Yeah.
So
well, they made watches for kings and queens.
Abraham Louis Breguet was the inventor of so many
patents.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, the tourbillon was made by him. There were so many overcoil hairspring made by Breguet, a parachute shock absorbent system for, you know, if you hit your watch, you won't break the balance staff. Breguet. Yeah, wow. He was the best watchmaker in the world in his time. Yeah. But then the company, of course, never really started making watches we know today till a couple hundred years later. So the Swatch Group own Breguet now. Okay. They're even though the Swatch Group own the brand, that everything's made in-house, they're a unique watch. They're largely, in my opinion, undervalued.
I think you're right. I mean, that looks phenomenal. Like the finishing on that dial and that case is so well refined that it's even coming up hard for me to show on the camera. They reflect light. That's what's hard to photograph there. So the dials are beautiful. The case shape, if that's what you love, is, if you get a loop to them, they're amazing. They really are. And yet, second hand, they're not worth as much as a Patek or a Lange. So a Breguet you're buying for, let's just say hypothetically, someone walks in the shop, they spend 120,000 on a white gold Breguet. What are you paying for it? What's it worth second hand? God, that's terrible. Give me a ballpark. Just let everybody. We'd be lucky to sell it for half that. Half that, yeah. Yeah. We'd be lucky to sell it for half that. Now, whether that's a sign of the times or a sign of what collectors are willing to pay for certain things,
but that's the way it is.
So I guess you can pick up a bargain if you love the brand.
You can.
Yeah.
You can. However, with the Breguet production is not high. We don't see many. There aren't many points of sale in Australia or in the world. We see far more Audemars Piguets and Pateks and Langes than we do Breguets.
Yeah, right.
I don't know why that is. Probably just few of them out there. And also they make a style that is polarizing. You know, they've always made that kind of looking watch. You know,
that's their design.
That's the design. So whether you have it with bells and whistles, or whether you have it a plainer one, or whether you've got it in white gold or yellow gold, or whatever it's made of, or platinum, it's not going to look like a Submariner.
Do they make it? They make dive watches though.
Breguet make a chronograph.
A chronograph.
They make a dive watch. Well, they make a marine.
Marine, yeah, which is like a sports sort of dive.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit of a stretch to compare it against the Submariner though. It's not really a diver's. I don't have any divers that wear Breguets that I can think of. I mean, I could be wrong, but they make a marine, which is a waterproof type, screw down crown.
It's more like a boating watch or a yachting watch or just a water sort of activity.
Sure. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's a decompression sort of bezel on a Breguet. I can't think of one. No.
So it's just a nice dress watch.
They make dress watches. So I think the issue with it is that it's not everyone's cup of tea. You've got to love the look of it.
And they make a lot of production as well. I mean, what they make, 10,000 watches a year, maybe something around that?
I don't know what the data is. I'd love to find out.
Well, guys, if you know what the data is, let us know. Send a comment.
Yeah, we'd love to know. The issues, I just love them because they wear beautifully. They're not like anything else. If you like your Breguet, you're going to love it because it's not going to be like your Vacheron, or it's not going to be like your AP or your Patek. They make their unique style of watch, and that's it. And I do love them. The guilloché work on the dial is magnificent.
It is phenomenal.
It's magnificent. The engraving and finishing on the back, on the movement, is also magnificent. I mean, would you say it's better than Patek? If people are saying, people argue which one's better. Well, look, okay, technically, if I got a loop to one and really measured tolerances, maybe the Patek Philippe might be made to a slightly higher level of tolerances, but
not a lot.
I'm not walking around with a loop, mate.
But it's just like, it's so much branding because people are, if I have a Patek annual calendar, or let's just do Perpetual Calendar next to this Perpetual Calendar, everyone's buying, 95% of people are buying the Patek based on resale value.
And what the Joneses, who are their neighbours, tell them to buy, who knows? But
when did all this change, Ronnie? I mean, I remember buying watches. I remember going into my first Rolex authorised dealer at like 18 years old with my parents, and they helped me buy between I think it was like a Sea Dweller and a Breitling. And I chose the Breitling. I know I chose the Super Ocean, and everybody laughs at me today, but that's what I did because I loved it the most.
That's what you wanted.
Later on, I bought the Sea Dweller a couple of years later. What changed? Why is everybody now just buying what holds its value most? I mean, this is only in the last 15 years this sort of stuff started.
Not even. In the last 5 years.
Really? Even more?
Yeah, even more. So I'm sure there's a heap of videos and discussions on why everyone's paying overs for certain watches and why some brands went thermonuclear through COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need to talk about that. That's everywhere, right?
Everywhere, yeah.
But the truth is that, you've got to buy what you want.
Buy what you love, yeah.
Buy what you like. Don't buy it. These are not investments. If you buy a watch, there are some watches, granted, that have been traditionally investment grade.
Sure.
Okay, I mean, every brand has got their Rolex, their steel Rolex Daytona, for example.
Sure.
Patek have got their Nautilus. Audemars Piguet have got a...
But there was a time when you were selling these things under retail.
Of course. Big time. Big time.
Yeah.
So, to me, no. I bought it because I love it.
And you did well, mate.
I do love it still. And would I buy a Patek Perpetual? Yeah, I would. But to be honest...
But would you have it over the Breguet?
No.
Yeah, there we go, because you love this watch.
No, there isn't a current Patek Perpetual. Time only one. There's a chronograph I quite like. But look, I prefer the Breguet.
Yeah,
I do. So, call that what you will. But getting back to investing in watches, it can be a minefield, and unfortunately, the last 5 years, especially through COVID, there was a bit of money floating around. People started investing in watches and doing what they were told.
Yeah.
They were buying something because someone told them that would be a good thing to buy.
The rise of the watch dealer over COVID.
Yes.
Now they're all gone.
Well,
the ones that came here for the good time.
Well, look, I mean, a lot of that happened. But look, the truth is that at my store, Sydney and Brisbane, we have always sold to people who want to buy a watch to wear.
Yep.
They come in, they try it on, they love it, they'll buy it. Price has got to be right. Condition's got to be right. You know, you sell a watch to someone and the condition or the price is wrong. They go home, they find out about it,
and they come back.
They don't come back again. But if it's right and it's beautiful, they always come back and they tell their friends.
Makes sense.
Know? Yeah. So and I think with Breguet, they're one of those brands that if you buy the one you love, if you find a Breguet that you love, you'll put it on and you'll just be so happy because there's nothing else like it, and I don't think there ever will be. They just make what they do. And I just love that one because it was an oddity. It wasn't the white gold one. That's serious production. So I had to get something different because I'm nuts.
You got the platinum one.
Yeah. So I had to get the platinum one. And I like the Perpetual Calendar because I love that style of watch with all the bells and whistles going on.
I hear that a lot of the watch companies aren't going to produce a lot more watches in platinum. I mean, we're struggling to get platinum watches. And someone told me when I was in Watches and Wonders a few years ago that there's only 15 square meters left of platinum for watches.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so and I didn't I looked at that and thought, you know what, whatever, mate. And then I thought, well, he could be right. And then over the last 4 years or 5 years, significant decline in deliveries on platinum watches.
I don't know, we see very few of them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really thought of it like that, but yeah, we see few. Certainly don't see as many Rolex as we used to. That'd be the biggest user of platinum by far. But a lot of the other manufacturers hardly make out of platinum.
Yeah, just too expensive.
Well, I think on the price, the price of platinum is actually lower than gold by a long way. The value of it's lower, but the manufacturing processes are more expensive. The waste is higher.
It's harder to work with as well.
Far harder to work with. Yeah, far harder. So, but I love the metal. It's a very heavy. It's very white.
Yeah, very dense.
Yeah, very dense. White gold is more grey unless you rhodium plate it. But platinum's always very white. And I like the way it wears when you hit them against walls and you scratch them. Sorry. You
scratch the wall.
Yeah, well, no. I don't know, somehow scratches look better on platinum. I know that's bad to say that, but it's just the way it is.
Oh, well, thanks for bringing that one along.
That's okay.
That's a fantastic watch. Guys, Ronny's Breguet.